Hello and welcome to Wonder Girl Tarot. This is your reading for the week of March 16th through the 23rd, 2020. It's a general reading for anyone who feels called to watch the video. Please take what resonates and leave what doesn't, but if you clicked on it, perhaps there's a message here for you. I've shuffled the deck and drawn 3 cards. The first represents Monday and Tuesday, the second Wednesday and Thursday, and the third Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But as I always say, these may be energies that come and go throughout the week and aren't restricted to those specific days. In general with tarot, the timing is quite flexible, so this is intended for this week, but it could be something that's just happened or that will happen a little bit afterwards. So without further ado, I'll turn the cards over and we'll see what we've got. Okay, an interesting week here. We begin with the Lovers card. Monday and Tuesday may see you needing to make some kind of important decision. The Lovers has to do with choices, and it's usually choices concerning love. So a choice between 2 people, a choice to love or not to love, a choice between 2 different paths forward, 2 different places you could live or work you can do, or perhaps the choice to change or stay the same. I'm noticing the snake in the tree in the background. So this is obviously it's kind of like the myth of the Garden of Eden. And snakes represent change and transformation. So maybe you're being given an opportunity. Maybe you've been living in some kind of garden and you're being asked, or you're given the opportunity to change and leave that garden or something along those lines. In the middle of the week, we have the 5 of Swords. So this represents Venus and Aquarius, and it's swords are mental, cerebral energy, and it tends to represent the desire to win at all costs. So perhaps you're feeling a bit competitive, or like there's a lot of other people that you want to overpower in some way, even if it means losing those relationships. You could be encountering somebody who's acting like this. It can also represent things like silent treatment, when somebody's angry at you but doesn't tell you, and so they don't reply to your calls or your texts, your emails, or they just act kind of distant and you feel disconnected in some way. Yeah, if it's you yourself who are acting like this, then it does tend to represent it. The classic meaning of the card is an empty victory. So it's when you put everything into winning, but you may end up feeling kind of lonely or cut off, or like the things that you thought would make you happy, all of these swords here, are actually not very satisfying when you're all by yourself with them. So just beware of that. And this tricky swords energy continues later into the week, because we have the 7 of Swords, This is traditionally referred to as the liar, cheater, thief card, but it's somebody who's gathered up all the swords. He's woken up early in the morning and he's sort of sneaking out of the camp with everything he can get his hands on. So there could be literally somebody stealing from you, or you may be called upon to use your intellect and your cunning and cleverness and steal a march in some way. So if you're in a difficult situation, this is a really good card to have, a really good energy to be able to embody, to keep your cards close to your chest, to not tell people what's going on, to use your brain and make your plans, lay your plans, and sneak away when necessary. But if there's somebody around you who you get the feeling isn't really telling you the whole truth, I would definitely follow your instincts on that, because this is kind of definitely a tricky energy. And these could be the same person, somebody who's not talking to you, somebody who's maybe lying to you, somebody who doesn't have a lot of concern for your feelings right now. They're more concerned with winning or getting what they want. And yeah, of course, equally, this could be you. But I'm noticing, because I was drawn to the snake, and let's see if I can pick up all of these cards. Because I was drawn to the snake in this Lover's card, it could be that this is kind of like a snake in the grass. Somebody who's, maybe you're being offered a kind of opportunity that seems attractive for a relationship, a business partnership, a new living situation, and it seems really blessed and beautiful, but actually it's going to lead to some difficulties, and you're not being given all the information. That this is kind of like a snake in the grass. And the Lover's card is Major Arcana. The Major Arcana cards, they're more likely to be things of a kind of fated nature. I'm not saying that it's something you absolutely can't avoid, but perhaps it's important to you in some way to experience a challenge. So in the myth of the Garden of Eden, when the snake offers Eve to eat the apple, it's from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, they both lose this paradisal state, but they gain knowledge. It's like Prometheus bringing the fire of the gods to human beings. Maybe you've been innocent in some respect, and this week is going to prove enlightening in a potentially unpleasant way, but it could be empowering ultimately. Or perhaps you've always acted like this kind of innocent person, and you're being called upon to be more crafty. But yeah, I noticed on the bottom of the deck, I looked because last week it seemed important, and this week we have the Strength card. So Strength is the card of Leo. It represents courage, but soft and warm courage, the courage to have fortitude and remain open-hearted, and brave, I guess to really be true in some way, in a heartfelt way. So if you have to make some sort of choice, I would pay attention to what makes you feel connected to your heart and to what feels warmer, because it seems like you may be encountering a lot of more cold or calculating energy in the form of the 5 and 7 of swords, either from other people, or you may be tempted to act this way yourself, to be calculating, to want to win, to want to not tell the truth or sneak around. And I think that it's important to have this more heartfelt energy in the mix, and to try and go with that if possible. But it's a very interesting week. I'd love to know how it goes. If this does come to pass, don't let it frighten you or take it as a bad omen or something. But if this does show up for you in some way, please let me know. Unless you're having to, unless it's a secret, that on your own secret, in which case, of course, you can keep it to yourself. But leave me a comment if you'd like to. And I hope this is a really good week for you, and an empowering one at that. And thank you so much for watching the video. Stay well, take care, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.